From the lush green lands to the cascading waterfalls, wonders of the world, the oldest habitat of territories on earth, a rich cultural heritage, a continent of 1.1 billion people, second largest and most populous, a continent pregnant with possibilities, home for 30% of Earth's mineral resources, 50% of its people under 25 years. Africa, the land of the great. Our spirit resilient. Our enterprise profitable. Our future inspiring. Africa is inspiring. Be inspired.
By reason of the kind of errors or mistakes you've made before the limelight or before the spotlight can easily be swept under the carpet, and you have a second chance to actually correct them, improve upon them, and further sharpen the skills. Thirdly, there is this myth a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs have around there in Nigeria and Africa, that once they share their ideas, it's going to be stolen. Ideas are not easily stolen. Ideas, in as much as they are original, they were birthed by conviction and a creative sense of imagination. There is no way a third person or a second person can actually steal it, because ideas goes beyond the letters, the texts by which they've been outlined for anybody to just read. The purpose of a concept note or a business plan is for it to give you or a potential investor a general overview guideline of the direction the business or your objectives, the market, the kind of service or product you intend to venture into. Ideas are very difficult to steal, and besides, there is no serious investor that will invest in secret. Nobody invests in secret, so you must be willing to lay the idea bare. And it's only you, if truly a lot of innovation and creativity has gone into that idea, it's only you, the owner, the conceptualizer of that vision, that innovation, that has the requisite knowledge, skills, tenacity, vision required to dot the I's and cross the T's of that idea. Then thirdly or fourthly, integrity. Without this very critical element, you cannot go anywhere. I remember when we wanted to start our initiative, and we approached a number of people for funding because the idea was very novel. A lot of prospective or potential investors, myself and my team approached, were a little bit skeptical. I remember telling one of the investors we pitched to that I was confident and I had the conviction that we were going to get the required funding we needed. And we did, through our circle of friends and family. There are a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs who cannot be trusted with the smallest amount of money from within the circle of their friends or their family. And if your moral quotient or your ethical quotient or your level of integrity is not adequate or sufficient enough to esteem the goodwill of your immediate community of friends and family, then it means you don't actually have the DNA it requires, or that is required, to be an entrepreneur. And integrity is not something that is built on spur of the moment. It takes time. It's a spontaneous process, little bits of trust that will be reposed in you as an individual over tasks, over transactions, how transparent, how accountable. There are a lot of people with resources looking for intelligent and morally upright individuals to finance their ideas. Most times investors don't invest in the business idea. They invest in the entrepreneur themselves. They look out for the character, the DNA, the hallmarks of sound entrepreneurship to invest in, because at the end of the day, it is the person that runs the business. The business does not run the person. And there must be a commitment, a crucible still commitment to be uncompromising with values and with ethics, regardless of how daunting or how difficult the challenges one may encounter on the road to significance, on the road to success. And people must understand that the journey is even more important than the destination. Thinking about it, there's really no destination anywhere. It is the journey that defines or that determines whether the destination is going to be reached at all. And so a lot of times people suspend life, people suspend living as a result of the pursuit of their goals or their objectives, rather than enjoying every bit of the moment. And I usually tell people, before you go into entrepreneurship, make sure you have taken time to pay your dues by working somewhere. Working somewhere where the gifts of experience, of mentoring, sound mentoring, can actually be transferred or impacted on you as an individual. But most times today, people feel entrepreneurship is all about being your own boss. And that's why a lot of people are miserable, a lot of people are struggling perpetually. Struggling is part of the journey, but perpetual struggling is definitely not part of the journey, because whatever has a beginning must have an end. But so a lot of people actually continue in a vicious circle of struggling, and it's because their obedience or their stewardship is not yet complete. They ought to be able to complete the circle of learning minimum, just like with any competitive event. An individual must be able to cross a benchmark, a minimum benchmark. There is a minimum level of learning, of skill acquisition, of mentoring, of stewardship a person requires, an individual requires, before venturing out into entrepreneurship. And one of the things I usually tell people, entrepreneurship is actually more daunting than paid employment, because you are responsible for your own pay and you're also responsible for others. And in the marketplace, customer is king.